ES Audio.
What's up? I'm John Weeks, and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, the real story behind that picture of the Pope in a puffer jacket. But first, researchers believe a discovery on the moon may signal the presence of a new water reservoir below the lunar surface.
This particular discovery has really quite an important implications for what's going to happen with the future of lunar exploration, because much of the lunar exploration is currently driven by the prospect of finding water in situ on the moon.
Mahesh Anand is a professor of planetary science and exploration at the Open University and a scientific associate at the Natural History Museum. He and a group of experts have discovered evidence of water on the moon after finding signs of hydrogen on tiny glass beads left over from impacts on the lunar surface. Mahesh told us hydrogen from solar winds mixes with oxygen present on the surface to create H2O.
The glasses that are forming are already a mixture of elements such as silicon, magnesium, iron combining with oxygen. So the oxygen is already present there. It's just the hydrogen, when it arrives, it locks itself with one of those oxygen and forms hydroxyl, and more hydroxyl than they lock together to form H2O.
Mahesh told us there's a possibility that over time, these water molecules moved from the hot surface of the moon to the poles and formed the ice we know exists there.
You simply move these molecules, you hop them over across the lunar surface, and they end up getting into those permanently shaded craters and contribute to forming those ice deposits. And this is not happening over days or months or years. This has been potentially happening over billions of years of geological history of the moon.
NASA's upcoming Artemis mission is focused on sending humans to explore the moon's icy poles and is set to launch in 2025. Now, you know that picture of the Pope wearing a big white puffer jacket that's been doing the rounds online? Well, it turns out that's a fake image generated by AI. It's been the subject of many memes online, and even Chrissy Teigen was tweeting about it on the weekend. But the image was actually first posted on a subreddit called Midjourney to showcase what the tech can do. Despite just how realistic it looked, it's been pointed out online that there are telltale signs that it is an AI image. If you look closely, there's blurring around his hand and his glasses, and the crucifix pendant he's wearing has rounded corners and edges. In what's often called a planetary parade, 5 planets lit up the night sky on Monday night in a sort of arc shape with the moon. If you saw it looking west after sunset, you are in fact looking at Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Uranus, and Mars. It's a rare occasion when all planets are visible in this way to the naked eye. The good news is the majority will still be visible over the coming nights this week, but Jupiter will drop away. Now, the UK space sector has brought an extra £1 billion to the economy, according to the latest figures. The latest Size and Health of the UK Space Industry report shows the number of space organisations across the country went up by almost 300, creating over 1,700 jobs. It's a positive sign for the UK space industry, as the 5.1% growth in income outpaced the growth of the global space industry in the same period. Already this year, we saw Virgin Orbit's first ever rocket take off from Cornwall, prompting optimism for more UK space launches in future. A study has found how a facial reconstruction patient gradually recognised his new appearance as his own face. An international team of experts investigated the case of a man who underwent the procedure in 2018. The 25-year-old, who sustained a ballistic facial injury in 2016, underwent a partial face transplant following several failed reconstructive attempts. Co-author of the study, Dr. Ruben Azevedo from the University of Kent, said these findings highlight how our brains adapt to changes in physical appearance and inform our sense of identity. Coming up, climate groups threaten action over new oil field, and the Beavers reintroduced to a stately home. Why not hit follow and give us a rating during the break? Welcome back. Climate change activists have threatened a tidal wave of action against the UK government if it gives the go-ahead for a new oil field off the coast of the Shetland Islands. Campaigners from Just Stop Oil, Extinction Rebellion, Fossil Free London and Stop Rosebank have pledged to fight the Rosebank project. It's been proposed by Equinor, which says the site contains 350 million barrels of recoverable oil equivalent and could generate £24.1 billion over its lifetime. Just Stop Oil said when burned, the oil from the site would produce more climate pollution than the combined annual CO2 emissions of all 28 low-income countries in the world. Scientists have discovered 9 regions of the brain that are affected by high blood pressure, including some which may contribute to the development of dementia. Experts in Edinburgh and Poland said they identified parts of the brain where high blood pressure affects cognitive function, such as memory loss, thinking skills, and dementia. They now believe that by looking at these specific regions of the brain, we may be able to predict who will develop memory loss and dementia faster in the context of high blood pressure, which could help with precision medicine. And finally, a family of beavers has been reintroduced to the Grade 2 listed gardens of another English stately home. It's hoped the dam-building rodents will boost wetland biodiversity around Trentham Gardens in Staffordshire after being hunted to extinction in the wild in the 16th century. Visitors to the gardens can see the 2 Eurasian beavers and their kit in a 69-acre pond. But groundskeepers are taking one key precaution. Certain trees will be wrapped in wire to protect them from falling victim to those sharp teeth. You are up to date. Come back at 4 o'clock for the Leader podcast, where we'll be hearing about the new Superloop bus network for London. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. See you then.